was nice. I'll give that a 10.
Edit that one out.
No, that was leave it in there. That was a quality push. I'm proud of you, Will.
It's too much push.
Yeah. So what's up, everybody?
Hey.
Next episode of CAD to Cars. We're
Yep,
not counting
next
anymore.
episode because
No,
we don't know what
counting's-
episode we're on.
Not for us.
Hey,
Nope.
if anything, that added serotonin from the other door is, I think, gonna do me wonders.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's getting a little
I am getting a
breezy.
little bit of a draft going.
Yeah.
The difference between this and Dave's sketchy dungeon, it's pretty significant.
but that like the underneath
It
like
Your
was-
garage
coolness,
situation, oh boy,
What?
the coolness though.
It's cold
it was
there.
cold.
It's
I'm just
cold
saying with the
in
garage door
It
shut.
wasn't hot.
Your lighting, you need to upgrade your lighting in there.
Yeah, you do.
I don't own it, so no.
Neither do I. I don't
Me
own
neither.
here.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
but
I
you
bought
can own
those.
the lights.
They all plug into each other.
Yeah, you can
like
take the lights
they're
with
zip
you.
tied up.
That's true.
They're cheap, and it
Super
makes
cheap.
a world of a difference.
I think
Lighting
I got all
man,
those on Amazon for like $50.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Get yourself some
Oh,
lights.
those are like the. Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what
I'm
you
not
did
going
there.
buck wild here, but it makes a huge difference. In what
Max
you
Light
can do.
LEDs on Amazon.
Mint.
Perfect.
Is that a?
Yep.
So that's what I have in the barn. They're like $18 a piece with the ballast.
Oh, really? Huh.
Super
I'll have
bright.
to- I'll have to
Yeah,
look
they're
into
bright
that.
as shit, and they use
I
zero
really don't.
energy.
I mean,
And it's the
honestly,
new
considering-
LED stuff, like
Yeah.
so they light when it's cold out instead of the old fluorescent
Right.
tubes that just like
and they never die.
flicker.
Yellow. I'll think about it. Little yellow.
Zebra stripe.
Oh,
That's my
yeah.
favorite.
Oh,
When
watch
they
the
do-
little
moving
Yeah.
zebra stripe.
Yeah, that's the good one.
Yeah.
You try it
That
a few
makes the
times to get
noise.
it going.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta shut them off,
Start.
turn them on again, get them to restart.
Get that igniter.
Alright.
It
What are we
makes
talking
it-
about today? We're talking about.
Ramblings first,
Well,
Good-
yeah,
good
I
ramblings.
just want to kind of get that. I feel like we should let people know up front. You know what we're gonna.
so they can cancel early.
Bail early. Yeah, I don't know. I think they should suffer through our
Leave them
ramblings.
hanging.
The
you
stuff
know?
that they don't care
Just
about.
kidding. Daily ramblings. It is.
Yeah.
Keep them guessing.
Who's first?
I guess I'll go.
Yeah, go.
Dave first.
Not a whole lot of updates on my end. Drove the Corrado this weekend. It was fine.
Made it out another weekend, huh?
Well, I'm getting there. So I'm driving it. It's fine. Doing some pulls, highway pulls, whatever. Fine.
I bet it's really fast.
It's fun to drive, Kevin. It doesn't have to be fast.
Gotcha.
That
But
is
highway pools.
But
That is
highway
true.
pulls.
Yeah.
So I did a few highway pulls and it was fine. Did one highway pull and it was fine. Got home and like did a wide open throttle pull and it's like fucking leaning out in second gear really bad.
Isn't that the
Like-
what were you doing on the highway?
Well, it's the same thing, but it's not-
50%
it
throttle
wasn't-
pulls?
Well, it wasn't doing it on a highway.
Okay.
And then
Do
when
you have
I
an
got-
AFR gauge or something?
I think the fuel pressure regulators.
Do you have an
Just,
AFR gauge?
I do not,
Well, how do you know it's leaning out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's stuttering terribly. It's
Uh,
misfiring.
sure it's not-
that
that's
could
a
be
misfire
many things.
problem.
Huh?
Yeah.
Sure, it's not just a misfire. Like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
eh.
The entire ignition system's new.
That doesn't mean
Doesn't
anything.
mean anything.
We've gone over this
Hey,
before.
did you listen to the last episode?
Right.
Yeah.
Your brand new parts could also
Did you
be
touch
bad.
that recently?
Yeah. Did I touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah. More often than not, whatever you just touch is the thing that's going wrong.
That was
again.
that was like the summary of
Now that
last
I think
episode.
about it,
Yeah.
I may have had ignition wires unplugged at one point.
See?
So it might
you
be
know?
loose.
Hmm.
I'm saying. The most
Which is,
likely
that's, I mean,
culprits-
that would be good news because
Yeah.
that's easy.
Yeah.
You also messed with the fuel pump
potentially
recently,
free.
So.
The fuel pump was new.
That's
Yeah.
So
also
yeah, that
true.
could also be
Yeah.
it. But I did check the fuel pressure, and the fuel pressure seems to be where it needs to be.
Okay, then it's
But-
probably not leaning out.
Yeah, you need to check it like under wide open load, which
Yeah.
is
Right.
hard to
What do you have? A
Yeah.
gauge on the rail?
Put a GoPro in there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's an
that'll
easy way to
work.
do it. As long as you can get the light in there. But
Just stick a flashlight.
Take the
just
hood
duct
off.
Tape
Yeah.
I could just take the hood off.
Yeah.
But
Either
yeah,
way.
I don't know.
Or do the old school, like run a
Diagnostics.
line up to the windshield, tape a gauge on it, and like
yep, the amount of time
Yeah,
I just run them under the
Run
wiper
a
arm.
sketchy fuel line up to your windshield. Great idea.
I've done that so many
I've
times.
definitely boost leak tested, or just tested
No.
to see what's happening during a pull just by strapping a gauge to the windshield. And
Standard
so-
like Bosch style connector 5-volt pressure sensors are so cheap now.
They are.
Just do electronic stuff.
But basically, like I said, I was giving it the beans, and it just so I'd get up in the RPM range, and it would just brrrr, and it would just not. So that's where that's at.
so it's broken again. Okay,
Sounds like a spark issue.
you had a good
Yeah.
weekend.
Moto 4 is apart.
Again?
No, apart.
Again?
Replacing the piston.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
Oh,
accident.
yep.
Took it apart. Pulled the timing guide rails out. Half of one of them was snapped. It was
Oh.
like the end of it was broken off.
That's interesting.
And the other one was okay, but I just ordered both of them because it was like $28, whatever.
Yeah, while you were there.
But I did notice that the kit that I ordered that you sent me, the piston is slightly different.
Yeah, they all have different castings, but same
I
thing.
figured it wouldn't make that much of a difference.
No.
I was just looking at it and I was like, well, I mean, it wouldn't make that much of a difference.
They usually have an
honestly.
arrow about which side is up for the intake versus exhaust valve.
Yeah,
so
there's
just make
there's
sure.
I did picture or take a picture of it before I took everything apart, but so yeah, I'm just waiting on.
A lot of those little
tiny
ones, it's
parts.
actually the wrist pins offset too,
Oh yeah.
because of the
that's right.
angle
Yeah,
of the cylinder.
Then we tried to measure mine,
Yeah.
and I think it looked like it was dead even.
Yeah, but it's offset
Might
to
have
one
been
side or the
another
other.
off,
It's like
yeah.
to mitigate wear
Right.
on like that side of the bore,
Right.
but
So once
Gravity
those get
side.
in-
the gravity side.
Yeah.
So what about wheelies?
Think about the wheelies.
Yeah, I know. We're wearing out the top side.
but
I'm surprised it gets oil.
so yeah, just waiting on stuff to get in and then get that back together. Hopefully it stops smoking. The piston in the previous cylinder head there was quite a lot of play. There was visual play by eyesight that you could see.
That is the
I mean,
definition of
it
visual.
has to have play. The
Well,
rings
there
are what
was-
seals,
there
right?
There was play in between.
Yeah, normally when they're really hogged out though, like you can tell.
It was
But-
bad. It was not good at all. So comparatively to the new one, it's a lot better.
Well, luckily for $35, they come with a new cylinder
Right.
jug.
Oh, which by the way, got the cylinder jug and took a look at it. Set it on the workbench and it was fine. And then I went back the other day and looked at it, and one of the fins had was half broken. So I touched it like this. I just poked it and it just snapped off, and I was like, oh,
It's fine.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not detrimental.
No.
It's not going to do anything. But it was just one of those things where you're like, oh, come on. But
I was
then-
annoyed. The replacement ATC head that I bought
yeah.
had busted fins around the spark plug because somebody used some kind of tool that they shouldn't have
Oh,
to get a plug out.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
What do you?
Yeah.
That's like kind of how I gauge if I should buy an old dirt bike, because like you can't fix the fins and they always look dumb when they're really broken.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I don't know.
It's disappointing. Bought it off eBay. Didn't know.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not
Yeah.
going to do anything.
No.
Realistically, it doesn't make a
Not on those. at
measurable
least.
difference.
No.
But yeah, that's about it for me. So I have some projects to finish up here, and my dad just picked up. He texted me today, or my mom messages me and goes, she sends me a picture of my dad. He's looking at a dump truck, and I'm like, oh boy, what's he doing now? Sure enough, 5 minutes later, she goes, it's in the driveway, and I go, what do you mean it's in the driveway? He bought a 1970 Chevy.
Dump truck.
Chevy
Dump
John.
truck.
I don't know. It looks. I don't know. It looks pretty good, honestly.
That body style is cool.
I'll let you
It's
know
just
when I
great.
need. I'll let you know when I need to bring dirt over.
That's
for,
pre-square body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's like
got
the
a
super
picture of it here.
collectible note, like Chevy pickup at this
Oh,
point.
it's got. Oh,
Yeah, those
right.
are the really
Alright.
pretty ones.
Right. I mean, he said it's not bad. It's not great. It's old.
It's a dump truck.
had
It's
bad
like
stuff,
a-
dumps.
but-
I
yeah.
see
He
that.
said-
Classic.
I saw a dump truck and I was like, hell yeah.
It's like
I
a
was like,
classic square body, just with
totally
a
good.
dump truck bed.
Right.
It doesn't
It's
even-
And it's a
predecessor
dually.
to the square
and
body.
it's a dually, which is
So.
nice. So
I'll let you know
maybe,
when I need dirt for Applebee's, and we'll.
Yeah.
we'll
consolidate.
we'll have to see what happens here. He says it needs a few things, but
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
always do.
I already told him. I said I'll run it from you so I can use it for shenanigans, and he was like, fine, whatever.
Nice.
So,
Color
Yeah.
me in.
Yep.
but that's
Yeah, didn't you
that's
say
it.
it's a skid steer too?
We do have a skid steer.
Man, you gotta like do the things they do on YouTube videos when they drive it into the bed of the truck.
I don't
lift
think
it up,
I'm
lift
there
it up
yet.
with the
It's been
arm.
a while since I've driven a skid steer.
I believe in you.
You can
I
do
could
it.
probably do it. I mean, it's not an issue. It's just backing it up into a dump truck is a little bit more difficult than you would think.
Yeah, whatever. You'll
It'll
be
be
fine.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Everything's fine.
But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, everything's pretty decent. Except it's hot as shit today.
Yeah, it's a sweaty one.
It is.
It's making me think slower.
Your brain is condensating.
It seriously is.
Okay, I guess I'll go next.
Okay.
Last week
Counterclockwise
after
it is.
the podcast recording, we did a little bit of messing with Race Quad and drilling
Slow
of
Race
more
Quad.
main jets and playing around with multiple carburetors, and realized eventually that it was a CDI box. It's not
Boy,
good.
this sounds exactly like Dave's Corrado issue. Chasing the wrong freaking thing.
Yeah, so
Huh.
now I have a super hogged out China carb main jet that I'd like to try again with a factory one. So I
A
gotta
CDI
figure out.
box. Is that the little box that's on the?
The ignition.
Yeah, it's like the
Control
right side of the
module.
frame.
Okay,
yeah.
it's like bolted to the frame.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, mine's apart. You can borrow mine if you want.
Well, I borrowed one off the Fast Quad,
Okay.
so
Oh yeah, I forgot you.
we,
had one.
I just need to play with it again. So that's
nuke and repave, start over with the carb stuff because
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
doing some false weirdness going on.
So
false weirdness.
That does make me consider like why ours are a little slower too sometimes. Because like your fast quad doesn't make sense. It's got like basically a stock China carb on it. The thing's a ripper. It revs higher and cleaner than any of the other ones. And I wonder if there's like some CDI box business going on, or maybe that's a 100
maybe-
CDI box. Maybe that's got a different timing curve in it.
Huh.
it's possible.
You gotta look for some part numbers off that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look it up.
It
Be
does have
scrounging
100
eBay.
plastics, so
Right. I wonder if there was just some hodgepodge stuff that went down.
I don't know.
I want it, whatever it is.
Yeah, I need that.
Whatever
It's quicker.
combination's
I mean,
going on with that.
you also
thing.
haven't tried this like on yours. Yours runs clean. You also haven't tried smaller tires,
That's true.
so it could ride very similar. Maybe
It
we should
just
just
doesn't
swap that and
rev
try it.
quite as clean.
I don't.
You'd think first it would still rev clean, and then once you get into the higher gear, sure. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so that has hope now. I was kind of giving up for a while because I just didn't know what to do with the car. Thought it was going to be a lost cause, but with the CDI box, I think we'll be able to make something work. Hopefully. Drove out to pick up 2 motors for the B7 S4, which I now have. One with 160 something thousand that has some kind of cam phaser or timing chain failure,
cool.
and one with supposedly 90,000 miles that should be good. They're a little bit less complete than I was expecting, but most of the things are there. So
Between 3 motors, you should be fine.
Yeah.
you'd think, but
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still don't have the title. Been trying to contact the guy, and there's something going on. I don't know if like something happened to him or like he lost his phone. I thought my phone number was blocked, but I've tried from multiple numbers and nothing's going through. So, kind of in limbo there.
It's hard not to be skeptical, but just trying to remain positive on that one. It just seems like the whole story, everything's just so elaborate
Right.
that it just seems like, why would you bother if you were just like,
I don't know.
scamming somebody?
And
Yeah, and realistically, it's not like you're scamming out of what $2,000 for the thing, like,
right. Yeah.
Whatever.
So it's like I don't know what's going on right now. We're just pretty much
Just
stuck.
more stuck waiting, I guess.
Yeah, so I got the motors in the garage, just hanging out for now, and we'll deal with it. I'll give it a couple weeks, see what happens, and we'll go from there. But
So you haven't heard from the guy at all?
last I heard from him was Monday, and he told me that his fiance's mother died, and they had a lot of stuff going on last weekend, and
I
have
mean,
not heard from
really
him since
though,
then.
how long does it take to put a title in the mail and shit? Like,
Well,
Did you hear that he supposedly did put it in the mail and it got returned to him?
and then he was going to ship it UPS, and then he didn't get around to it because of this funeral
no,
thing.
no,
It's elaborate. There's a lot of story
yeah.
going on for
Look.
someone that's like could have just stopped talking to me immediately if
He-
they wanted to.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, honestly,
He got his
he's
money, like, why
he's an
bother at
hour
that point,
what
yeah.
away?
Hour and a half.
Why don't you just fucking go get it?
I don't know what's going on. Like why?
I know,
why
but
would-
I don't know why you're waiting still. It's been like
I mean,
what?
I
If the
would've
guy's
waited
not
3
contacting you, I'm not
weeks?
going to just go down there on a whim type of thing.
Nah.
It's
Why?
like,
You purchased the car. It's your car. Like there's no reason for him to
legally, it's still his.
Not, yeah, well, you know.
He's not getting it back.
Well, exactly. So
I
you-
have the car. He has. I don't know. It's
I don't
just-
know, man.
one
It
of those
just
things where
seems
it's like
seems
offer
like
to go down and get it type of thing.
It,
but
it
okay.
seems like he needs some motivation. So like,
If there's any truth to the story, then I'd look like a real dick going down there. So I don't know.
That's the thing, yeah.
Well, so tell me
What-
what you think
what-
happened. Where like I thought he blocked my cell phone number, and that's why nothing was going through.
right.
But then I tried it from my work phone number, and
Yeah.
the same thing happened. Like his phone is off, and it's been off for multiple
Yeah,
days.
I mean it's hard. Nowadays it's so hard to tell with people because like sometimes you run a sketchy, but sometimes people really just have a bad time. Like,
He also, like,
timing is wrong. And
Said he had some medical issues going on. And I don't know if he could be in like the hospital for all I know.
yeah, no, I get it, but at the same time, I don't know. I just have an issue with trusting people with
Yes.
stuff like this.
Obviously, I
well-
did, and I went down there and I was super skeptical because he told me that day that I was supposed to go get it that he didn't have the title, and I was like, well, all right,
Right.
I'm booked for the next 2 weekends, so I don't really have a chance to pick this up otherwise. So
Right.
I talked to him. I watched his cell phone go off when I called him. He's responded to my text before. I met him. He seemed like a reasonable person, so I was like, okay, this should
Alright,
this
well,
should be fine. I don't,
I mean,
he's not that far away. I know where he lives. Like,
I know where he lives.
I know a lot of
but he's
details
not gonna
about
go
this
down
guy,
there.
but
no,
I'm kidding. I wouldn't
I
either.
get what you're saying.
Not at this point.
No, really,
No.
you know,
Because
unless,
honestly, you don't care. Like, you just want to know what your path moving forward is.
right, you know, because it's an inconvenience at this point. And like, honestly, you know, if he was like, hey, I don't have time to send this out. I'm doing X, whatever. I'm having.
Fine.
yeah,
Hey,
You know?
hey,
Right.
I don't have time to send this out. Okay, I'll come. I'll drive down and I'll get it from you.
Right.
Like, not a problem. Like,
yeah, that's the next step if I can get a hold of him. I don't know what's
Right.
going on with this
Leave it
phone.
under a rock on your front porch. I'll come get it. Like,
Yeah, something like that.
yeah,
He lives in the middle of nowhere, so he could just leave it wherever.
right, exactly.
yeah. No, I just, you know.
Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out in the next couple weeks to see what happens, but
Right.
that's where I'm at on that. I have 2 motors now, so they're just taking up space. I'm planning on blowing them both apart, at least the timing covers and stuff, because
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
can-
take a
like
peek.
parting
I
out
check
or
the
what?
cam
Oh, okay.
phasers and all that stuff. The cam phasers get hogged out over time, and they throw cam timing codes because they can't advance anymore.
Yeah.
And the timing guides break,
Yeah,
obviously. So
Check for
Right.
revision
yeah,
part
once-
numbers or something like that on
Once
the
we
guys.
figure out what's going on, if we get a title, I'll try to take the best of all 3 motors and put the
Combine 'em into
minimum
one
minimum
running.
timing chain stuff in, and we'll go from there.
That'll be great. I mean, you got
Yeah.
3
Like
motors to work
podcast.
with. I'm sure you could come up with something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
On another note, I stopped at my buddy's house to ride around the ATC for a little while, and in the process, I got stung by 12 bees. I got stung 12 times by bees, at least. I don't know how many were multiple shots, 12 bees.
How did you manage that? Did you
bees.
drive
It's just,
through it
you know,
like
he
a
was like,
garage?
hey, look, you know, check it out. We'll go in the woods and check out my property line, see how far back it goes, see how much, you know, like trail space I can go. I'm like, okay, cool. Go to turn the ATC around, and I must have stepped on something.
Ground bees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Those aren't fun. That happened to me when I was a kid. I got stung
It's
like
happened to me a bunch on
26
ATVs.
times or something
Yeah, I
like that.
haven't been stung by
That's-
a bee, and
The most
It's
I've
a
ever
long
been stung,
time.
and it was not fun.
No.
No.
Are you still itchy?
Yeah, everything's itchy.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That'll do it.
That's my update.
Well, Kevin got stung by bees and he still doesn't have a title for his car. So.
Yeah.
not much
How's-
new there.
Drift car stuff at all or no?
Oh.
Talked about that last time.
Yeah.
Oh, reliable?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much has gone down with the drift cars.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know you have some stuff, but
Oh yeah, we'll get to me. I see the path here. I guess
Yeah,
the
no.
viewers that listening to this don't, but Will's next.
Yes,
So.
Will
I
is
was
next.
expecting him to show up in a Mazda today, and he didn't. 'Cause he had all this time.
You know,
kidding me.
I've been seeing that kid. That kid's got that silver one. He works in a warehouse. He's got one just like yours,
Yeah, yeah,
sitting
yeah.
out there. You could probably unload both of those pretty easily.
I would. Somebody
should
needs
ask
somebody
him. Why not?
put me in contact with him.
What he
'Cause
works with
I just
us.
don't want to do
find
this
out.
anymore.
They do move, by the way. Somehow he gets.
I
The same
noticed the
parking
one day
spot.
it did move.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Because
okay,
I figured, oh
it
no,
is
it's the
mobile.
same
I
amount.
was like,
of
must be
dead-
blown up. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's literally the exact same. So
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't mention it last week. Although last week I did have some stuff done. I guess we just didn't talk about it. The motor's ready, good to go.
Ooh.
It's ready to go in. Put the heads on, head gaskets, cams are back in, all that stuff. My dilemma now is just deciding like what combination of parts to put in the car that I want to sell.
The
and-
cheapest combination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know. So at this point, I'm like willing to accept that I'm not gonna get much money for it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of leaning towards just get it to be like a running thing
Yeah.
and just get rid of it. But I do need to decide on a clutch to put in it, and that kind of sucks. So I only have one clutch, so. I have a brand new South Bend that I bought for my car like a while back, which I kind of want to keep. So that means I need to buy something for this one.
Yeah.
So I'm at the point where I need to spend more money, and that's just kind of been put on hold too.
yeah.
And ever since the little pole barn Palooza, not all the parts came in time for like all of the things. So
Yeah.
I've gotten the remainder of the parts since then. Fork seals for the XR80. Front brake cables and levers, and then obviously I needed more things for the ATC, so just kind of been tinkering with that. Picked up that that's a 100 motor. You had the Champ 100 motor, Mike?
No, I hung out of the 100.
Okay.
So.
I wasn't sure which one that was,
That's
but
the 4-speed 80.
yeah. So Mike had an extra 80 motor
Right.
from the older ones. Those are all 4-speed, but the newer suspension Badgers are 3-speed only. And I don't know if the gear ratios are different. I'm suspecting that they are, but most people only just swap in the 4th gear just to get more top speed, but I want all of it. So anyways, I went to go take it apart and split the case and everything, but I don't have like that flywheel tool. And
well, let me know. I might have it.
Is there any reason you don't change the whole motor?
I don't really know what the condition of that thing is. I mean, it doesn't have a jug or anything on it.
I have that still. I just didn't give it to you because it was in a box. But
Yes.
the rings were broken on that one, same as mine were. I had that one running in my bike when I got it.
Well, anyways, I did order the flywheel puller tool because I was like putting it up because I'm thinking like this is like a goofy tool that I didn't really feel like buying, but it's on Amazon for $8 on Prime. So I was like,
might as well.
Oh, okay.
well,
I was saying, hey, can I borrow that? when
yeah,
you're
yeah.
done?
So I ordered that. It'll be here tomorrow. I ordered some like more pull starter rope for the ATC because it kept breaking. So I got like 100 yards of that coming. I don't know
boy.
why they don't sell it in smaller spools.
I might need some of that.
You just started
My
from
ATC
space.
is holding on by
seriously.
a thread.
So yeah, just little stuff there. Otherwise, I think that's about it. I mean, I don't know. It's been so hot. Motivation's low.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
my buddy and I figured out a way to pump the cold air from our air conditioner actually into the garage.
Did you figure out a way to do it silently?
No,
Okay,
sorry.
Still, it's
I know.
not
It's
that bad.
pretty good.
We
It's
don't
still
have the
cold
mic
in there.
anymore.
that's true. We don't
Right.
have your mega mic.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I got.
Cool.
All right, Mr. Mike Day. So,
I just got back from our work Road Atlanta trip with a couple other guys. Road America. I always say Road Atlanta. I don't know why.
I get it.
It's the other road one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so close. But yeah, quite the trip. Towed the drift car out there, hung out with, like, it's a vintage race car weekend, so like everything there is super cool. And I show up in the shitbox drift car, and it's interesting. It's just like a bunch
I
of
mean, we
like-
also brought an E90 and like
Yeah.
an M4. So
that makes sense. They're like a company car type of thing.
right, but
Still
there's
some
those don't really fit in
badass-
either.
badass race cars, like
Yeah.
multi-million-dollar race cars. I guess this is the 50th anniversary of the Shadow cars, which are like basically some sort of wild big block and wheels. There's nothing else to them. They weigh like 1,300 pounds. They have like 700 horse. They're all like little wedge bricks from back in the day, and they're monsters. One guy flipped one on the main straight, caught air under the nose, and it flipped.
Yeah.
Somehow
this
he
past
was
weekend?
fine. This past weekend.
Yeah, there's videos of it on YouTube already.
Yeah, I got the video too. But he flipped at 180 on the data log.
Wow.
And it's like the guys from Hawker are like pitting next to him, and they're like, "Oh man, like that guy's written off." Because like you see it, the smoke,
reminds me
just,
of
like,
the,
debris, like big shit show.
It's a
And they're like,
Mercedes,
"Hey, the guy's standing next to you."
prototype car that
Yeah.
did the flip on like the Nürburgring or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that
Yeah.
from many years ago.
I was talking about that too, because like they interviewed that guy on Top Gear, and like they had a clip of the car upside down. He's like, and they were talking to the guy, and like, "Hey, if you notice, the brake lights are on, because I'm in the car on the brake, like it's gonna do something."
Right.
But
So,
but that guy was
out
fine.
of curiosity,
Luckily,
did it happen kind of the same way, like on a crest or something?
it's a little bit of a crest, but very minor.
So
I know, but
so
when they're designed to be so close to the ground, just
Well, I
getting
was-
a little air under the nose.
Yeah.
I was watching the video, and I think he was too close to the guy in front of him, and when
That might be
they
too.
crested that, I think that whatever air he was having that was pushing his front end down just left. Because
Well,
he-
yeah, if you're in dirty air to begin with, you
Well,
didn't
right,
have
yeah.
as much.
Well, the way it crested, there was a car here, like here and here, and then when they went over, like right as soon as they hit the second guy hit the crest, that's when it just went.
yeah.
So
One had some wild, like twin turbo, big block. Like they got big Brodix heads on them. Like I don't know what they are, but they're monsters.
Nice.
So it's just awesome seeing stuff that won't idle, drive around, like all sorts of old like IndyCar looking things. Like I'm not a specialist on any of these old things, but it was a blast just like walking through the pits and looking at how they're made. Like those shadow cars. Like if you crash, you're over. Like there's nothing.
Yeah.
Your legs are in front of the front wheels.
Yeah.
It's all like aluminum sheet metal, all riveted together in like a thing, and then like the steering wheel's like in your nuts basically, and it's like this big because there's no space in the car. It's unbelievable that these guys are driving them that fast.
Right.
But yeah, that guy was standing up in the pits like when they thought he was written off, like still cleaning up the car, and he's like, "Oh no, he's standing right over there, like 15 people from you." I'm like, what? The guy's fine? How?
Did it land back on like kind of upright-ish, or
Oh,
did
it like disintegrated once it lifted,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
hard to tell.
like reminds me of also. I'm just thinking of all the things that I know of flipping, the, like hydroplanes.
Oh yeah, those things go off too.
Well, they're designed to like disintegrate too.
Kinda,
'cause they
yeah.
have like a cockpit like enclosure that kind of supposed to separate from the rest of the boat.
Yeah, there's
Crazy.
like no safety features.
Yeah,
in these.
I didn't think so.
You're sitting in like an aluminum panel, and they put basically what looks like expanding foam around you, so you have your own seat insert,
Yeah,
and that's it.
that's common in pretty much every type
It's
of
pretty
professional
common, but
racing.
like it's not contained, and like there's nothing else holding you in at all. It's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a super cool event.
Get to slide around at all?
Officially, no, but
Right.
yes. So
Legally, no.
yeah. Wait, they do
Off
like
the record, yes.
they do what they call like a touring lap, which a lot of tracks do, especially vintage events. Like I know Lime Rock used to do back in the day. It's like a parade lap, but they're like, speed limit's 55 for the parade lap. They come out with a bunch of cars, but then you follow the pace car.
I don't know. My speedometer said 55.
Yeah, we all hit well over 100, so I don't know what the pace car's doing or how that worked out, but it was a blast. And there's a couple corners that we went around.
I'm watching this right
You
now.
watching the video of
it's
flipping?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how much of a flip it was.
Oh, it was.
Oh, it was.
It was a
flip's a
substantial
flip.
flip.
It's like a ramp. Just like went up the hill and just
It
kept
just
going
caught
up the
air
hill.
and just went like.
The hill stopped, but
Yeah.
it kept going.
Yeah.
We have a video of it too somewhere, but yeah. So some really rad shit. I did slide a couple corners a little bit, but like if they see you dicking around, it like ends the touring lap for everybody else.
Yep.
And I didn't want everyone mad at me.
Right.
So
The
I did a couple
oddball.
like fourth gear slides, just like a whisker. And I was like, ooh, I haven't tried fourth.
Right. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I'm sure if you're going fast enough, it works out well in that car.
Yeah, it worked out. It was it was definitely
Have
like
you
a
ever-
momentum slide at speed.
Have you driven that car fast? Like besides on.
About
I
as
mean, we've
fast as you
taken
can
it to
go-
lunch.
About as
Yeah.
fast as you can go in Midvale, right?
Well, right.
Yeah, I've taken it to lunch. We went on a like drag strip thing.
No, I mean, I guess
110
how does it?
or
Yeah.
something like that, or a little over 100 there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not great at that.
Not good at fast.
No, and then
Not-
like the
not
second
good at
day,
straight things.
they just did multiple laps. Like for some reason, we were out there forever. We did like probably 7 or 8 laps,
Yeah.
which, as you know, like my car gets pretty warm at highway speed. So 7 or 8 laps of warm at highway at like those speeds,
Yeah.
I was dying.
I
The car
figured.
wasn't overheating, which was great.
That's good.
But inside the car must have been at least 150 degrees.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I was thinking about that because posts were getting shared on Instagram and stuff like that, and I saw you in there. I was like, man, it can't be cool.
No, Shirk was in me for that one too, and like we were feeling it. It
Yeah.
was bad. I got out of the car drenched. Like
Yeah.
my entire shirt didn't look splotchy like it does right
It's
now.
just a new color.
It was a new color.
Yeah.
Gross.
It was really gross. But like on the straights with my arm out the window trying to scoop air into
scoop
my
it in.
face.
Yep.
Ugh. But yeah, otherwise, towed it up there and back.
How'd the
How's,
truck do?
Yeah, how's the
So
truck?
yeah, we touched on this a little bit
We
last
went-
time.
we went over maintenance. Was it a good call or a bad call?
I think it was the right call. I would have
Yeah.
been too nervous had I just taken
Okay.
anything apart.
Call, right call.
But yeah,
It's confirmed that it needs maintenance.
It is confirmed that there is a problem. I am blowing through the converter lockup, which isn't that big of a deal. It's kind of a big deal though. Like I have
So
to
the
change
question is, are you going to throw a converter in it, or are you going to do filter and fluid?
I'm gonna do filter and fluid first.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying you're going to waste it if you got to do a converter anyways.
That's way cheaper than a converter.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Like
Yeah.
way cheaper. So
It's way
basically,
and easier.
keep in mind, the truck supposedly has a billet single disc converter in it right now.
Okay.
So like the amount of discs for the converter lockup,
Mhm.
and I'm currently blowing through that with the trailer. So, and it's definitely not like there's a TPS situation where like it unlocks the converter again over a certain amount, which it totally doesn't do. But you can see it's a dramatic
Is
difference.
that because you have it on race tune all the time?
No, I put it in the mid tune. I couldn't handle it on slow. I tried.
You tried it?
I tried it. It wasn't. I couldn't do it. But on slow, it's better. It doesn't blow through the converter as bad. But then
Makes sense. I mean,
it still will.
Yeah.
And you can watch the transmission temp climb when it's
Yeah.
blowing through the converter hard.
Yeah.
And then you can get on like a flat cruise and like kind of get out of it, and it'll lock the converter up and it'll hang it, and you could be okay, and the trans temp will drop back down. But it's not good. So I can either bump up line pressure and try to cover it up, which is kind of suspect.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that just yet.
Put a converter in it.
Also wouldn't do that just yet.
Yeah, I could do the fluid, which I don't think is going to fix it, but it's worth a try.
Definitely worth a try.
Yeah,
Because if it's smoked, I mean,
right.
bad things happen.
Exactly.
So
I agree.
changing it is relatively
Fluid looks
easy.
clean, but
Mm.
we'll see what happens.
Okay.
It's worth a shot. And I want to do like the band adjustment
Did you
and
smell
look
it?
at stuff. Yeah, that's fine. You can smell too.
I'd like
Um,
to.
So yeah, what's the other option? Like
Yeah, you
try to
don't-
source a manual.
You don't have long to figure
It's
this
$1
out
million.
either, though, because you're potentially going to Connecticut in, what,
Uh-huh.
3 weeks?
Yeah, and that's a lot more hilly than Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So
Trans temps.
scary.
No bueno.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm in the hustle mode right now, trying
Yeah.
to figure out what to do. So do I either throw a converter in it and then hope the trans holds it, which it should be. It should be
Yeah.
okay. Try to
Just
start
less race mode with the
sourcing-
trailer. I would recommend.
It needs more race mode though. Like I can't take it right now. I need more power. So I'm trying to like keep that in mind. Like if I threw 75 horse injectors on top of the tuner I have right now,
Yeah.
then I think it'd be solid. But
The want is so strong for me to do that stuff too.
yeah,
Boy,
yep.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to do maintenance stuff. I guess I didn't touch on that either. I ordered a bunch of front end stuff for the truck. Just to, ball joints are pretty fluffy looking. So,
Fun.
but yeah.
Shirk's blowing me up right now. He's got a bunch of pictures, I guess, from when we were on track, just conveniently at this time.
Yeah.
I also won an award for the concourse.
Oh yeah.
I guess I was entered in the concourse, like the streetcar
Best
version.
ship box.
Yeah, I guess must have been.
That would be such an awesome.
No, I guess
trophy.
second place.
Oh, for what? Like
second place ship box.
uniqueness thing.
Something like that in like that era of a car.
Okay.
Street car, not amongst. We did
he
like
was-
the
Is
race
it
car.
because it
one.
had a plate on it?
Yeah.
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 People say that too. Like I remember. Oh, seeing your most recent YouTube video on the wide body build.
Yeah.
The guy's like, "Oh, I wish it wasn't a drifter. I wish it was just like a rad street car." I'm like,
Surprise.
It is a
Can-
street
it
car.
can be.
yeah.
By most definitions, it could be a street
Yeah.
car. It's a shitty one, but it could
You
be
could
a street
drive it
car.
on the street, so
You can.
technically
It's
it
got
counts
gear.
as a street
It's
car.
got.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's got a
some
valid place.
safety
Depending on where you
stuff.
live, you can put anything on the street, right?
Right.
Yeah. Florida.
If you know the
anything
loopholes
goes.
here, it's not that bad.
It's
I think
really
you can pretty much put
hard.
anything on the street here.
Well, yeah.
Ohio's pretty easy.
You got a clean VIN.
Yeah, if you can put that on the street, I mean, you can put anything on
Yeah,
the street.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
but yeah, I have a trophy for that
Nice.
in a
exciting.
concourse.
Concourse.
What?
Are you excited?
Oh, so it's not the French concourse with the
It is the French one.
apostrophe. No. That car doesn't deserve it. It's concourse.
Yeah, Coors, the Coors Light,
Yeah, concourse.
Concours Light. But no, it was French rules. That's the only reason it was
Oh.
like. So it's basically like it's not how clean your car is and all the details.
That's how
and
big
like,
your watch is.
No, it's does this car make you feel good? That's what they're
Huh.
basically judging off of.
We.
But yeah, that was interesting. That was fun. It was a great event. Really awesome time.
That sounds
But
pretty
good.
Pretty cool.
It's a pretty good lead in to talk about making slow cars fast.
Yeah,
It is.
I would consider that a
That
slow
was
car.
a slow car. VR6 and all.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry,
yeah.
Dave.
So yeah, sorry not to knock the VR6, but in that car at this day and age, that's considered slow.
Yeah, it's old.
It sure is.
So
Still
the question,
sounds
Sure
great.
is.
the question of the
Yeah.
day is it a good idea to make slow cars fast?
And I guess
I have
my
mixed
caveat
feelings.
would be how fast.
Yeah,
Because
I think
up
it's
to a
based
point,
off
yes,
opinion, right?
I think absolutely up to a point, and then there's probably a point of diminishing return. But
yeah.
There's two questions here, in my opinion. This is like a double-edged sword.
I mean, everyone here has done it.
Do you
so.
make the slow car fast, or do you drive the slow car fast?
Well,
No, that's not. No.
Because that's fun in its own way.
I agree,
It's
that
the
is
reason
a
we
fun-
like It's the reason we like the Moto 4s
That's
and
not
the
the
Honda
question,
Helix
though.
and everything. Well,
it's
okay.
related.
It
it is
is
related.
related.
That's why you fall for those cars, and then once you start driving around a bunch, you get used to it, and then you're like, all right, what happens if I add a little more power?
Right.
It's exactly what you're doing with the Moto 4 right now.
Yeah, you're
what
literally
happens
building
if
a
I
race quad.
Yep.
increase the compression and build my own
I
intake and
didn't go
exhaust?
buy the Lamborghini off the bat. I should have known.
So,
that.
is it a good idea or bad idea, Kevin?
I think it's a good idea as long as you make it slow down just as much as you make it fast.
That's fair.
Agree.
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
two sides of it, and brakes are an often overlooked
And
important
tires.
factor. And tires.
The amount of
Even more
times
so.
that I've seen, high horsepower front wheel drive cars, high horsepower being 500 with no braking upgrades.
Hey, well, I got stock brakes on the Miata.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, it's Kevin. You're right. Braking is important because you can go fast, but if you can't slow down, then what's the point?
Sure. I think it's an excellent idea to make slow cars.
But there's
fast.
also like a threshold, I would say.
It's like,
for that
yeah, what are you
too.
There
chasing?
is.
I mean, we're talking, basic like stock engine internals, turbo build, where like, yeah, you add, I don't know, at most 100 horsepower on top
Right,
of a
yeah.
stock car. That's
Is that fast?
So that's a
Faster.
whole
Well, that's
other
the thing
can of
is
worms.
What's a fast car?
What constitutes as fast?
most
I mean,
things are just quick, not fast.
That's what I agree with you. There's a threshold, a very hard line between like quick and fast.
yeah.
And I've never had a fast car.
I would
I've
agree that I've
only
also
ever
never
had
really
quick
had
cars.
a fast car.
Yeah.
Right.
I
like
mean,
fast, and I've ridden in fast cars,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a hard
Fast.
line.
there
In
As
a
of
straight
2020,
line?
fast, we're talking like
Oh, no,
700-800 horsepower on a
just in
stock
a-
car.
In
or
like a
street car.
Miata, yeah, I
Well,
would
think
say like
about
700,
it,
800 horse.
think about it in like the last 10 years or so, right? Fast 10 years
It has
ago.
a whole new meaning.
Yeah,
It's
it does,
completely different. It went from 10 years ago, like 500-600 horsepower was like, okay, it's pretty good, like it's quick. Or,
Yeah, that was a big
it's-
deal.
That
I
was.
mean,
But now
well,
it's
there's been supercars have been around for a long time, right?
I'm
so
talking- I'm
let's
talking
take
like
an example. Let me take an example of what a lot of people have as their like official dream car is an F40. It's a
Oh,
V8
yeah.
twin turbo car that's pretty stripped down,
It's
like
quick,
ready for the
not
track,
fast.
basically. That's quick.
I would
not
consider that quick at this day and age,
Yeah.
but it's also really expensive and really awesome. Like
Right.
there's like the heritage, the technology, the
Well, that's-
badassery.
yeah,
I
but
want one
that's
of those
not-
because of
but
the
that's-
cool
but
factor,
that's
not
not-
because of anything to do with the speed.
That's not
Yeah.
what we're talking about. That we're talking
they
about
they were
making
they were
slow
fast
cars
in their
fast.
day though.
Sure. Yeah.
They were very fast
Yep.
in their day.
I understand what you're saying.
It's
but
built to go fast.
It is built to go fast.
Yeah, it's
But-
built to go fast. It's not the current go fast though.
Yeah, there's a
So what
standard
is?
now.
Dude, a Chevy SS would probably smoke an F40 these days. Like,
Nah, I don't know about that.
not okay, like on a track, not definitely not. But
Well,
No,
so-
I mean
so
on the track.
Here,
yeah.
so
A
here's,
new Corvette would though.
So here's my standard, right? So I know Dodge has been putting out a lot of good stuff lately. So like I kind of their Hellcat stuff, and like that's a pretty good
Okay,
like
it makes a bunch of
starting-
power. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's-
quick, not fast. Like it makes a bunch of power in a straight line. That's cool,
Well,
but can't go
Right.
around a corner because it weighs
well, yeah,
4,000 pounds. And
But
Everything
all I'm
makes
saying,
4,000
a second.
all I'm
Well-
saying is from a factory production car,
that might
like,
actually be
it's-
considered.
I think that's like nearing
Yeah.
the threshold
wait,
of
you're
What are they-
telling me that a
Demon-
Hellcat is fast, but a
No.
F40
Well, they
is
have
not?
that freaking demon red eye thing now.
Yeah.
It's 900
I
something
don't
at
care
factory.
how much horsepower it makes. Are you talking about fast? Like
Yeah, I feel like there's
There's
a
different
I
kinds
agree.
of
I
fast
understand what
here.
you're asking. That's very
Are we,
subjective.
yeah,
But
like are we talking
that depends
fast?
on what you're into. It still correlates though. Like if you're
Yeah.
into drag racing,
it's still
stuff,
not fast in drag racing.
It's an 8-second car, right?
I
Is
mean,
it? Out of the box, it's an 8-second car.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
what,
think
the
not
Hellcat?
repeatedly. I think there's a big debate about that.
Yeah,
but I
the
think
regular
they
700
did
horse
publish that.
version was like into the nines.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think
So,
the
yeah.
Demon did it, but like I guess they have issues if you do it all the time.
That's why
So,
they,
I don't know.
That's why they NHRA banned it from track
Yeah,
days.
'cause it doesn't
Well, it
have
doesn't
any
have a
saf-
cage or
safety
anything.
stuff.
Yeah.
That too, but yeah,
That's
I mean, that's
fast.
fast.
I think it's fast.
I would
think-
consider a sub 10-second car pretty fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
As much
So
as I don't care about drag racing, but yeah.
But yeah, I don't care about drag racing. I'm
You're
just saying.
excluding like anything that has like handling characteristics.
Well, I think
No,
there's-
I'm
there's
saying
two
from a
different-
power perspective, a drag racing is a great exhibit of horsepower
Right.
it's a good comparison
Yeah.
all around for sure.
because like you can measure the horsepower of a car by your time slip, your
Right.
Measure
speed,
the
in
track
road.
time of a car by its
That's
track time.
driver skill. That's like that correlates.
yeah,
that's
an
not as
oval.
easy.
Well,
It's
I
like,
mean,
yeah, it's driver skill.
Kevin has
Yeah.
a valid point. Put a Dodge Demon on a really loopy track with a Miata. Like, I mean, just
You can pick a middle ground there,
yeah,
but yeah.
there is a middle ground there. But the Miata most definitely handles better.
Yeah.
Right. It's-
I wouldn't say that, but
but
Come
okay,
on.
okay, like
you just have a soft spot for the Miata.
no, I'm just trying to like play the devil's advocate here and say that it's not only about how fast it is in a straight line. Like
Yes,
a
I
fast
agree.
car can
A
be
fast
something
car on
that
the
makes
track is
less
different
power.
than a fast car at the drag strip.
Here's
I
the
agree.
question:
I correlate speed to horsepower.
Can you have both? Can you
can
have
have-
both?
of course you can
a
have both.
fast car in a straight line and a fast car on a track.
The
What
point
they
they're
have these,
making
like,
though is that you can't compare the Miata with the Demon
No,
because they they're better at different things.
Right,
So
exactly. And I mean, they're
both can be fast in their own way.
right. They're purpose built for certain
Yeah.
things, right? So
So back to the question.
trying to
here. I
get
think
down
we're
to
getting,
the
we're getting in the
bottom-
weeds here.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get down to the bottom line of what you guys think is a fast car.
I think both are. I see both perspectives of where you're going for
Right.
here. I'm considering power as the measure of fast in this debate.
See,
Or
we
that's-
shouldn't,
that's the
even
perspective I was
assume
going
that
for.
because
That's a
the
powerful
question is,
car.
should you make a slow car fast? And say honestly, depending on, regardless of what you're trying to do, if you're trying to go to the drag strip with it, you just need a shitload of power and grip, right?
yeah,
And
Yeah,
so,
it's a bunch of dialing in. A bunch
there's a lot of
there's
other
a lot of
to
stuff
it, but
to
I'm
it,
saying,
yes.
in a general sense, that's that. And so, but if you're trying to make a slow car fast at a track, or an autocross,
Yeah.
Those are different things. I mean, you don't necessarily need to throw a bunch of power out at it to make it fast, right? So if we're talking about real slow speed stuff like autocross, I mean, you see those like CRXs and stuff like that, Honda CRXs, and you just take as much weight out of them as possible, put big sway bars on it, big tires, and they're fast. Like, and honestly, you can throw 700-800 horsepower at a Demon, and it will not beat that car.
Not at an autocross.
With 140 horsepower.
I also don't consider an autocross car fast. You know what I mean?
I'm just throwing out like polar opposites here,
but
right?
I know what you're saying. It is a polar opposite, and I agree with you. And like a car can be very fast at an autocross, and I completely am on the same page.
It comes down to definition of fast.
But for some, like, would you ever call that CRX fast? You take that
if
thing
you were
like
talking to another autocrosser at an autocrosser in context.
Well, this goes back
right.
to what
See,
Kevin
that's what's
was
like. You're throwing a lot of caveats at it. But if you take that thing to the store, it's not fast.
Hey, I got
If
a
you
fast
take that thing to the
CRX.
canyons, it is fast.
Well, yeah.
I think
I would consider
it's
it
all
quick.
based off of your perception. Perception.
I don't know.
What do you think
So
is
ultimately,
fast?
like, yeah. What
So what do you want?
what is your answer?
The
though,
best
to
of
the
everything,
question?
right? You want
Yeah.
a fast car is fast in a straight line and faster on a track.
I think fast is like the line where you don't want any more, which is very
Where it
hard
scares
to
you?
obtain.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, where it either
Because that's
scares
where I don't
you,
want any more.
Right.
Is when I'm scared.
When you're scared, or
Or
you
it's
know,
unusable.
Well, see, but that constitutes to what you're like. What are you doing with it still?
Right.
Right. It depends.
Yeah, it
you
does
could
depend.
You could be less scared going in a straight line, and you know, instead of doing like a slalom or something at that same speed. I mean, I think it depends on what your perception of fast is.
Right, I guess.
But is it a good idea?
Is it a good? Yeah, absolutely.
absolutely good idea.
Who doesn't want to see like?
Do you all right? Do you want to go fast?
I
Go
don't.
fast.
Whether you're like doing autocross, doing a track day, doing a drag strip, whatever it is,
Yeah.
if you're like out there beating supercars that cost hundreds of $1,000s,
yeah, of
to
course.
do that purpose, whatever purpose
it's like
you
the
built it
best
for,
feeling
Right.
in the world.
it's like
Well,
it's great.
And I bring back the Honda conversation. It's the funniest thing to me because, like, you know, most people don't think Hondas are fast cars, but I've seen a multitude of Hondas that are just they kill it.
I'm
at
pretty
the track.
sure.
They're just
What was
insane.
it? Like the EG hatch competition clutch.
Yeah.
EG hatch was the fastest stick
Yep.
car drag in the world.
Yep.
For it might
Years.
still be actually. I don't know.
Isn't it
No,
like-
it's no,
not
that's-
anymore.
It's not anymore. That did get recently beat.
Wasn't it
like
like
within this year, but
8.5 seconds or something?
no,
like that? Or was
deep in the fives.
Was it 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it eighth mile or quarter mile?
Quarter.
I mean, you know,
Yeah,
there's other
fast.
cars that
Well, I
have,
don't know.
like
I'm just
plenty of other cars that have beat that in stick. It's
I
just-
know. Yeah. It's just
Anyone can say that they have the fastest stock block with like bolt-ons
Yeah, of
only
course.
Yeah,
on
you
a
get
Tuesday with the wind
stage
blowing
5.
west.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, very, world record holding
Yeah.
Right.
caveat weirdness.
Completely unrelated. I saw that there's a Mark 7 M60 swap.
I saw
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I thought
I
it
was
was Mark
gonna- I
5.
was gonna send
but
that
yeah.
to
It just got like it was randomly popped up on my Facebook feed earlier.
I saw that
today.
too.
I
I
was
was
like,
like, why are people putting this motor in stuff?
I
anyways,
did
not
see
to
it.
derail, but I
think it
just
was
wanted to
over
bring
here.
that up.
No, I laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed when I saw it, and I go, "Wait a minute."
Wait a minute. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm down for making slow cars fast.
So
Okay,
my whole main point is not even slow cars fast or whatever you're after. Whatever, just don't leave your car alone. Like that's my biggest thing. Is like change stuff.
Yeah.
Like change
So
it to
I guess
suit what you want to
The
do.
biggest argument to this is going to be because you can say, yeah, if when you're building something to suit a very specific like task, whether it be racing or whatever, it makes sense just to tailor it to that. Right.
There's a compromise.
If you're
with it.
tailoring your car to drag, unless you're like doing like bracket racing or whatever, like
Right.
you're just gonna make it as fast as you possibly can, right?
Right.
Or if you're making it to suit a very specific track, you're just gonna set up the suspension, give it all the grip, and once it hits the power limit that I don't know, whatever's reliable and everything, that's kind of like what you're shooting for. But would you say that on a street car, that making a slow car fast, like your daily driver, is that a good idea?
It's that same balance of reliability. Like as long as
Right.
you think it's still worth it, like then yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, because obviously, like, there's nothing is. Well, there's a few things, but almost nothing is without some kind of sacrifice. Right?
Oh, for sure.
It's
Every-
definitely compromising something.
Exactly. So it's really what I guess that comes down to: what are you willing to sacrifice?
Yeah.
Right.
What
So,
are you willing to sacrifice? What constitutes as fast to you? Like what?
And
what
it
you're
doesn't
willing
even
to
matter
do.
fast or slow. It's whatever you're into. Like whether you're into off-road cars or something like that. Like you can make something completely impractical to use anymore. And you're
Right.
going to if you're really devout into whatever you're after, whether it's rock crawling or drag racing or track day stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, if that's what you want to do, that's absolutely worth it.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, it has its compromises.
There's a lot of considerations to make, and we kind of talked about this a little bit last week in terms of just like maintenance and prep and things like that. I mean, if you have, as probably a lot of people do, one car, right?
Yeah, so one car makes it tricky.
It does make it tricky. You got to kind of know where to draw the
Yeah.
line there a little bit. You know, you
Well,
can't.
that brings up the fact that it's pretty budget driven, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in one way or another, it's
Doesn't
whether
have
you
to
have
be.
a second car or whether you're
Yeah.
going buck
If
wild.
you
in
have
your
the
only
budget
car.
for it, just buy the fast car.
Well, you still, I don't know. For me, I would still want the
The slow ship
You can't
box.
have the same one as someone else. That's
Right.
not cool. Like,
Right.
someone else could show up with more money than you and have the exact same car.
Mhm.
And they'll throw a couple mods at it and be faster.
Right.
Bummer. Can't do that.
Nope.
It's true. But the whole point of making a slow car fast is that you like save a lot of money doing it. Really, you can make something perform the same
Yeah.
or better than something that costs a lot of money and
Okay.
maybe
I
is
see what
like
you're saying.
I see what you're
mediocre
saying.
at-
I don't see it
That's
from
a
the money
cheap car
perspective.
fast. That's
Well,
a whole
also-
new conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
instead of spending the money up front, you're saving
it's on the
money
back end,
and
but-
upgrading the car that you have available.
I mean, well, what situation do you have one car where you don't have that?
I mean, let's be honest. Would
Budget.
any of us in this room, if we had the money, would we buy something that's already fast, or would we just buy something and be like, "I'm gonna make this
Never.
fast, even though it's not supposed
Never
to"?
buy a project car.
Well,
Well, okay, never
no.
buy somebody else's project is what I meant.
Well, no,
I
no,
disagree
no,
with
what
that
I'm saying-
entirely.
What I'm
What?
saying.
Oh, okay. Well, the price is right. You have to be willing to
no.
undo it all, though.
Yes.
What I'm
But
saying
the price
is,
is almost always right. Like if
That's
you
fair.
if you add up the parts in
That's
it,
true.
it's
That's
always
fair.
I
better.
don't know
deals.
if the right if I had a bunch of money to blow and the right turbo E36 M3 came across my door, I'd be like, yeah, that seems
Yeah.
like a pretty cool thing. I'd probably rip that for a little while.
Yeah, that's true. We're just gonna take a breather here. Thought we could sweat it out. Apparently not. But
Sometimes there's some really
There
nice
is a
projects out
balance.
there that
Yeah.
yeah, no, I,
if
you
it
know.
came up for sale, oh, I'd be interested.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
talking
I'm not saying something off the factory line would be a good
okay,
investment.
that's what I'm saying. Like, would you rather buy off the factory, like, say you were buying a Dodge Demon? Would you rather buy that, or
No.
would you rather buy,
not interested.
I
Not
don't know,
interested.
something else? Exactly. You want to build something to your standard, something that you want to make it fast, in quotes.
even if you wanted to do drag racing stuff,
Something
Right.
that was
Like-
enhanced to do
Exactly.
something that was not everything.
I feel
which
like
is
it's
there's
not
what-
its
right.
original
There's-
design purpose. Like that's a,
There's-
I don't know.
They have to cover too broad of a range of stuff for anything factory, other than people that are specifically out there making
Right.
trophy trucks. Or
Yeah.
whatever it
Right?
is.
Yeah, that's not like an off the shelf.
It's kind of hard.
Vehicle.
It's kind of hard
Will
to
almost
beat.
missed it just now.
Some of these off-road guys, and what do you do with a NASCAR chassis?
Right. And those are a great option if you want to get into road racing stuff. I saw a
Yeah.
bunch of those out here this weekend. It was just that's a fairly cheap way into an older stock car chassis. You
Right.
could make it go both directions, and then that's a pretty cheap way in.
I think the biggest thing for us, at least, is it's more satisfying for us to make something that wasn't faster than to just buy something and be done with it. Right? That's not
There's no
fun.
done. That's the thing. Is I think we're the type of person that I can't leave it alone.
Yeah.
I'm not
No,
going to
I'm
buy
the same
something
way.
and just leave it alone and call it a done vehicle.
I mean,
When you're done,
there is
you
a
sell
point
it.
when you're okay, well, I have to put that one on the back burner for a while.
There's
There's things I
prioritization for
want to
sure.
do still, but I have other things that I have to do first.
Yeah, you have to prioritize your own projects, but nonetheless, you don't buy it with the intent of never touching it again and just running it.
Right.
Yeah, except the Crown Vic.
See,
Even
that's
then, you've
different
done
though.
stuff to it.
It's different though.
I did stuff to it, but I'm not touching it anymore.
I get it, but
Well, no, I'm the same way with the wagon. I don't want to touch it. Will I?
and now you have wheels and coilovers.
Right,
and-
exactly. I didn't want to do those things, but here I am doing those things. And if it wasn't for my warranty, the thing would have an EGR delete and a
I mean,
DPF
Kevin,
delete.
if
and
a
just be-
used air ride setup popped up for the Crown Vic for $400 on
yeah.
Facebook,
Not as a
you
winner.
cannot tell me that you wouldn't buy it.
Oh, you would.
You'd consider
not.
it for a
yeah,
moment.
come on.
I don't.
But I'm just saying,
that's
you already
just-
did
that
a
would be
limited
such
slip
a
in it.
Kevin
Also, I'm
thing.
saying is I'd send you that link.
Yeah.
I know you'd send
You'd
it
think
to me.
about it. You'd think about it.
Sure.
Come on, Kevin. You're not bullshitting anybody here. If you got air ride for the Crown Vic, you'd throw some works on it and be like, this thing is sick. and it would just be
It would
a
be
shit
sick.
box slammed.
I'd rather see
Crown
it with
Vic.
some all-terrains and just some Sawzalled fenders.
I mean,
As a
that
yeah,
winner.
like I'm
either
not,
way,
Also
right?
fine.
I'm not
Understand.
trying to make that fast. Like,
Yeah.
No,
it's
Well,
not
here's
fast.
not. Does having a fast car make
That
it
will
fun?
never be fast.
Does your car have to be fast?
It should
in
be
order for
fun
it
to
be fun?
begin with.
So you're saying it doesn't make sense to make the Crown Vic fast?
I think we should put a Pro Charger on.
I don't know. There was one at the gas station on the way here that had a Hoonigan sticker on the hood, so that was probably pretty fast. But I don't know. No,
Yeah, most
Yeah.
likely.
it's just not the car, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why not? I feel like you could make it belligerent.
It doesn't have a lot going for it. Just
That's what's great about it.
But what if you found like a real cheap like Coyote?
Right.
Pull
And-
a Cletus mobile.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd probably dump it in the E36 before that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it makes a little bit more sense.
Because
You
that
see,
car
you
would
have
be way
op-
faster.
See, you have options though, right? If people didn't have, if they only had one option, then that's what they would do, right? You have other options to put.
Yeah,
the
what if
motor
that
in
was your
other
only
things.
car?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, you'd probably get slightly
You-
interested if it was
Right.
your only car. You
If it
start
was,
looking
if
for
the
Marauder
Crown Vic
parts
was your
and
only
stuff,
car, it would.
Yeah.
You believe me, you'd be. Come on.
or your first car.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying making a slow car fast is a
That'd be
bad
good
idea.
f- that's
I think
a
it's a
No,
great
first
idea.
that's
car.
just one. That's your
I think
car.
I've
that's
come to the
closest
conclusion that I
doing
want
nothing.
Kevin to make the Crown Vic his next drift car.
I don't know.
No,
That-
he's thinking about it.
That would be a good drift car.
It would.
I don't agree with that.
With the proper
Parts
support
are
and
extremely
parts
plentiful.
I don't know.
It's gonna be hard on tires. It doesn't have enough power, and it's like
well,
heavy.
you can solve the problem with the power by
Yeah.
putting something
There's
else.
a lot of solutions to that.
Yeah.
Solutions exist.
Yeah, solutions for
they're
other
cheap.
platforms.
I
make
think I
more
just want to
sense.
see it. I just want to see it drift. That's.
yeah,
what
well,
I'm
we
at.
can make that happen. That's fine.
Yeah,
I don't want to make it a dedicated drift car.
I'd
I
like to see
have
it.
been
I'd like to
contemplating
see it
like
with some
trying to
lights
find
on it.
another 1 Series for that though.
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just if you can find like a 128 shell or something like that. Doesn't matter. Like whatever your cheapest way into a
I
shell
think,
is.
yeah,
or-
they're
How-
cheap enough.
What's the price on those?
They're
now?
cheap enough either way in like Copart that
Yeah.
the 135 is probably better to start off with. 'Cause
Yeah,
it has
that's
nice
true.
brakes and
yeah.
you know you'll be able to sell
Yeah.
the stuff that comes with it for more money. So
Yeah, because they're still new, so people are
Especially
still.
if you could find one with like a
flying
blown
them.
engine.
Which shouldn't be too hard to find.
Even then, that's not like even if it's just been hitting the nose or something. Just like
Right.
a totaled car that you're then gonna try to total harder, like as a drift car. Like
No, try not to total, but possibly will total.
yeah,
Try not to, but accept.
except right.
Right. If you bang a wall, you bang a wall. That's
it's a
it.
pretty slow car. Can make that pretty fast.
What, the 135?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
relatively speaking
no,
to
I-
like whatever we were talking
Again,
about.
today's
Yeah, no,
standards.
I feel like
yeah,
that's, I feel
yeah.
like that's a good example there. You know, it's not necessarily super fast, but you can make them fairly fast with the right.
It's hard to disagree, especially with the newer stuff. Like
It is.
you can slap a tune on so many stock cars and make
I mean,
so
look at
much
all
more
of the-
power
look
with
at all the-
zero bolt-ons.
yeah.
It's like,
Factory
whoa.
Turbsky things.
Right, all the
dang.
eco cars that come factory turbos now. It's just
Mhm.
you know,
That
it's gonna be
my
hard not to
1
modify
Series
them.
makes about 400 horsepower at the wheels.
Yeah.
And it has downpipes, tune, intercooler, and an intake.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Exactly. There's no. You know,
But that's not fast.
Right.
You know.
See, the fast is a hard thing to obtain.
it is.
It's like
Are we-
the goal that's currently running away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've been in like what? I think the thing that really woke me up to that was like I went for a ride in like an 800 horse E36.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a setup drag car, and I was like, I was hoping this was faster. And then
Oh,
yeah, yeah, that's the thing. I went for the ride and I was like, oh man, I was hoping.
Here
this
I
was
am
better.
thinking my 800 horsepower goal was like gonna make me happy, and
I
then
know.
you like
Is
now
it
to
ever?
experience
Is
you
it
go,
ever enough?
Damn
though?
it!
Well, I also went for that car when it was like a 12 to 1400 horse car,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh shit, this is crazy.
So
So what is the
There
gap
is a line.
Where? Yeah.
Somewhere.
Where's the line at? Is it what?
Yeah, I don't
1,000
know.
horsepower? 900 horsepower?
No, it depends on the vehicle. It depends on how
the
you're
chassis,
delivering
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
It's
Yeah.
also constantly
feel like-
chasing your tail. Like
Yeah.
400 horse can feel like a ton when you have no traction.
Yeah.
And then you sort out the traction issue, and you're like, okay, I need more power now.
Yeah.
So you're constantly chasing one or the other.
Well, that's like my dad's got a factory Camaro SS.
That's why drift cars are fun.
And it's-
Because like people get in my car and they're like, "Cool, man, this
Well,
thing
right.
rips," and I'm like, "Not really." No.
Right. You're like. Well, that's because the feeling of going fast is much different when you're spinning the tires around a turn for X amount of time than it is for it to just drive down the
It
street.
is satisfying.
Yeah,
You know, breaking tires loose, and you're like, oh man, like,
exactly.
it's going pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. So even then, like, you might not be moving quickly, right? It might not be fast, but you're
That one series will, so you turn off traction control and put in second gear or whatever. It's nice and dry out. She'll spin second gear tires like pretty good.
of course.
It's the right amount of like slip.
Is fast just being
It's-
able to break
is
the
it-
tires
I don't know,
loose
no, it's
anytime
just like-
in any gear.
The right amount of like power and
No.
It's
like
like Forza
tire
Horizon. You
slip.
swap the V12 into anything.
You're not blowing the tires off, but you
Donuts
hear
on
them
all
like
four.
squealing a little bit. So you're like, okay, we're at the limit
You're
of these
getting it.
tires.
Yeah,
Like, that feels pretty
you're
fast.
giving it the
That's cool.
beans. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was the thing. Like in that like 800 horse E36, it was like fourth gear highway. You saw tire marks down the highway. It wasn't spinning the tires. It was hooking. Like but you could see where you just were.
Yeah.
And it was like, ooh, maybe a little more would be nice.
Right,
That feels good.
right there on that cusp.
Yeah.
The cusp.
The traction cusp.
The cusp
Yeah.
of.
So
So it can feel
it's a
fast.
very difficult goal.
It is. Well, right. There's plenty of things that feel fast.
I was
that
gonna
aren't
say
fast,
if
and there's plenty of things that are supposed to
Kevin's
be
car
fast that aren't
400
either.
horsepower and you put just donuts on all four,
Oh no.
would it just like feel ridiculously fast?
I think it would break.
I think it would just
don't
not
think
go
anything would.
anywhere and like.
I think he would. I think
Spin
he would dump the
everything.
clutch once. And the
Right, but I
tires
mean, if
just
we're
would-
saying that fast is like a ratio of like power to grip, and you just turn the grip way down.
And space available.
Yeah, no, I know.
So that's the
Yeah.
other thing.
We should
Because like being
We
on
should
ice
do-
is not fun.
we should do drifting on
On
donuts. at some
donuts, it would
point.
be good though.
I do want to try that.
I
Like
don't
a
think
deep
you'd get
snow?
like a turn and then you'd be out of rubber. That's my trouble.
I don't even think you get a turn. I,
I
think
wanna
it
know.
would. I think the wheel would physically break.
No, they'd be fine for that. Like I'm fine with the wheel. It's just
Well,
like
I don't know.
surface
You gotta put
area.
like 80 psi in those things.
That
like,
gap in Midville, where that transfer is over across the center, where that lump, that
Eerie.
hump is.
I don't think I'd be getting there.
I
I,
wanna
think
know
I'd be
what-
out of rubber before I got
I
there.
want to know what
to
gear I can
cords.
get into in a burnout.
Yeah.
Is this something we have to
Will
do
it do
now?
fifth?
Do we have to put?
I don't know.
donuts
I don't
on
know.
someone's
Let's just
car?
order some up. Let's throw some donuts on something.
Do
we
donuts
sell
with
'em?
donuts.
I know.
Might
that's
as
what I'm
well.
saying.
Donuts
Yeah,
with donuts
what the
while
hell.
we're eating donuts.
Let's go. Should we record the podcast while doing it?
Yeah.
Are we gonna do a live episode?
I've been thinking we should do some kind of video
Yeah, you could do a live.
Do a
Kinda
video like
correlation to what
Yeah.
we're doing here. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's a build or just something stupid like putting donuts on a car and doing
donuts.
burnout
Yeah.
drifts, donuts, whatever it is.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
we should correlate some sort of event. I agree.
Yeah.
Should we
Tell
make
us
a-
in
should we
the
have a-
comments or whatever if we should do some sort of event if you want to see that.
Or if
'Cause
you have
it's
just some really
us.
stupid idea that you want us to accomplish.
Right.
Or test.
We're willing to do it.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
you want to see a video of something that
Or
we're
put our
doing.
bodies on the line.
Whether it's donuts on drift cars or we play with shifter carts or we do wheelies on four wheelers. Like we're pretty open to whatever you want to do here.
Ooh, a little
but,
group shifter cart project.
boy, do I want to do that. I was thinking about that
Well,
this weekend.
were you up front today when I found that? I found a drift cart.
Oh, yeah?
For motorized drift
Little-
cart for like $800.
little
And I was
crazy
like,
carts?
that's a little-
Yeah,
that's a
we
little
can make
much.
those. Those are
Yeah,
cheap.
Yeah.
But
We could do it better.
I was like, that would be fun to have just to.
I think
just to,
we could set up Kevin's yard as some sort of drift practice with shifter carts.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Because they don't do
Hose it-
anything
hose
to
it down?
grass. No, you don't
Is
have
it-
to.
Is it
If you get the
2020
stretch tires
ruin
on the
Kevin's-
drift
Kevin's
carts.
That
yard?
berm would be wild.
Yeah, exactly. Running
Oh,
that
your
berm.
your big hill.
Oh, it'd be
Yeah.
so good. Let's do. That's the next build off. Well, let's build two
Is that
identical
fast?
ones. We'll see.
Oh, no.
Depends on what motor you get.
Will's street bike motor.
Yes, that's
We've been
fast.
talking about that forever.
This is pretty low on my list of things to do, and I'd be willing to donate a little 600 to it.
I think
Group-
that's a bit much.
Group build
but
project?
It's a four
Make a
cylinder.
tiny
like,
thing
it's a
fast.
We need two,
four-cylinder
though.
four-stroke. It's
We
like,
need
Yeah,
two
you
of
need
them.
two.
No, that's true.
That
Maybe
is true.
maybe we could start. Maybe we could start by doing like going to a go-kart place first, and then going from there. We could lead into this. How can we build our own thing?
We can't bring our own things to a go-kart
Well,
place, though.
No, of course
with
not,
enough
but-
money, you can do anything.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
true.
Maybe
So we
have
can't
to
do
talk.
anything.
Yeah, we don't have any money.
Maybe we have to talk to the people at the go-kart track.
We'll have to,
Says-
we'll have to
says
put it.
every-
We'll have to throw up a
right.
link for a GoFundMe in our
Says
podcast description.
Yeah.
Four dudes
Hey,
with
do you guys
well
mind
over
if we
12
throw this
projects.
like 600cc go-kart on your tiny electric kart track? Sure.
Yeah, sounds great.
We'll give you a shout out in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe a build off. Maybe that's what we need.
Wait, we could just do it in the ECS parking
I think
lot.
it should be like a, you know, it's kind of spec class almost.
Junkyard
Sure,
Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Junkyard
wanna
Wars.
do that.
What a good show.
Such a good show.
Oh, man. I wish I still had that. I'd sign right up right now. I love that. That was
You
the
could do
best.
it.
Can you imagine all of us getting on like an episode, like a team on Junkyard
Are you
Wars?
kidding me? This is what I dream about.
If
That
anyone
would
hasn't
make my
watched
day.
Junkyard Wars,
Yeah.
which was kind of like a us growing up generation thing, it
Mm,
really
yeah.
died off
It did.
afterwards. But like I watched that all the
How
time.
many seasons of that do you think there were?
It was a bunch.
I felt like it was a bunch, yeah. But I'm
that
not,
and like Monster
they-
Garage.
that
were,
could have been
my
like a
childhood.
weird delusional thing where
Monster
it
Garage
was
is
like,
pretty good too.
Monster Garage was really good.
It could be good. It could. Oh boy,
I tried to
did-
go back and watch
I
them.
tried to go back.
Yeah.
Incredibly cheesy.
Yeah, I've ruined the shit out of
Yeah.
it for me. So I stopped after like the first 10 minutes of an episode.
I would be worried about that with Junkyard Wars.
I know. Actually, did you know they're redoing
they just-
Monster Garage right now?
I think they just ran out of ideas. 'cause
I found the
there was-
sign up
I
so we
watched
can
one
apply.
where they were like, "Oh, you have to make a truck into a cow milking machine." And I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Why?" Like,
I like
think-
there was random things they had to do, like as an off-road challenge or something.
I like the golf ball picker upper thing that they had to
Yeah,
do.
that
Like
was
that
good.
one was good. I like that.
I think they just like stretched their limits on
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
they had at the time and really couldn't come up with anything because they were like, "Oh, let's bring in the specialist cow milker." Like,
Yeah, the idea man
Okay.
was
So
had some
cheesy,
shitty
so
stuff.
cheesy. But it was good for what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
as
it started,
10-year-old
it
me,
started
that was amazing.
a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, in the old brain.
But yeah, they're redoing that show.
That's
We can
pretty
sign up
wild.
now
Wow.
and potentially be on it. I have the sign up saved on my computer because I've been like hemming and hawing over being applying.
Wow.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I would do that.
Yeah. I can't not.
I know.
How many people do you need?
No, this is for Monster Garage, not
Oh.
Junkyard Wars.
Well,
Junkyard
so-
Wars,
so-
I would have signed everyone up without telling you. Like, there's not a chance.
So
I'd be
I'm
both.
trying to remember how the Monster Garage worked. You didn't sign up as a team. You
No,
just signed
it's
up as
just
an individual.
individual.
They
and
brought
then
in,
they
like-
constructed like
Yeah.
a team.
They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we brought in this welder. We brought in this cow milk specialist.
Yeah, right,
Like,
Yeah,
Whatever it
exactly.
was, and they're like, "All right, your team
So
is
some
these
Amish
people."
dude who doesn't know how to do anything with electricity. He's like,
No, I mean they're mechanically inclined people for the
No, I
most
know.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did a fairly good job screening that show, but
Huh.
still have that up.
be pretty good. That
So-
would be pretty good.
We
You know how I found it? You know the Big Schwag, the guy who was the announcer back in the day.
Oh god.
was his
Oh
name?
yeah.
The Big Schwag.
That was his. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
no,
was his-
I can hear the voice in my head. I
Yep.
just didn't know what his name was.
Found him on Instagram through like a post from Jesse James or something
Yeah.
oddball, and he had the link to how to sign up in one of his posts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Underrated, well, maybe not underrated Instagram accounts though. Jesse James, the Pope of Welding.
I know.
Give him a follow. Good
I know
stuff.
he
Really
does some good stuff. I know like he's hit or miss on some of the like was politically active in a weird way for a while.
He gets deep
and-
into some stuff too.
yeah, he's
but
pretty out there. But
yeah.
like as far as being a craftsman, there's no one out there
incredible.
who's more passionate that I've met.
He's like one of the.
you know.
You listen to any interview with him or anything, and just like preserving the craftsmanship and using hand tools and things like that. Like he's super into all that stuff.
Right.
And
Still just
although it's
constantly
mostly
trying to learn.
guns and motorcycles,
Well, blacksmithing mostly. Like that's how he's trying to
Boy.
apply a lot of it, and
Yeah.
it's really cool.
his job openings too.
It's not the Pope of Welding. It's just Pope of Welding.
Pope of Welding, yeah.
Good stuff.
Because a lot of like really good welders are ragging on him for that too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, you're not that good of a welder. And like, he's a really good welder. He's not the best welder.
I wouldn't tell him that to his face though.
Absolutely not. Not a chance. He's a very good welder.
Yeah.
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 There's some other Instagram guys that are like unbeatable though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
See how real that is, but
Yeah, right.
Right.
So
Getting into
yeah,
the weeds,
okay.
I guess,
you
but
you throw it like a ton of gas at this thing, you make it look super pretty and all that good stuff. Fine. I don't know.
Kevin's
Just-
unimpressed.
yeah, well, there's some of the guys
see
that
that all
fix
the time.
things.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the guys that fix like broken heads and stuff? Like,
what are we talking about?
welding.
Oh, just
We just really transitioned to
Yeah, we
welding
did.
hard.
Yeah, we did.
Took a hard left.
It's one of those.
You
things
just see a
so
lot of stuff that's like
satisfying.
kind of unrealistic for like a real application. I don't know. Like you can make it look pretty. Some people just make like art where they like weld,
Mm-hmm.
stuff in a circle or whatever in a pattern and
Like
You know how many
guys who weld-
sculptures I've seen with booger welds though?
Yeah.
right.
Lawn art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
junk.
Yeah.
But
And
I've seen
Somebody
guys
needs
that,
to tell
like,
him.
that repair like cylinder heads on drag cars when they like eat a valve or something like that.
Insane.
And it's beautifully
building
TIG
up aluminum
welded.
just
yeah,
so you can see
building
and
it
see it
up
back
so you can
down.
machine it back down and not
God.
know.
It's
Imagine. So good.
It depends on what you're going for. Sometimes people are going for that like rustic look, Like,
There's no
there's no-
excuse for a shitty weld.
Rustic was never bird poop.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
that's not.
That's
no.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But the problem is it's those type of people that like, yeah, maybe they're in the middle of nowhere. Maybe they just don't have any friends or anything that are into fabrication. Somebody needs to tell them shit sucks.
Yeah.
I wish, like, I really just hope that at any time, like, I'm really just bonering something up, that somebody's just going to tell me and hopefully tell me how to do it better.
Yeah.
So-
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've met some. So
Because I'm not afraid to try anything. But
give you an example here. My parents live in kind of the middle of nowhere, Maine, and they have a guy that has like a local welding metal like.
those exist
shop.
in every small town.
And the guy's hands are like Tootsie Rolls. Like he like clearly has been working with his hands for a long time.
Yep.
Like they're cracked, old, big, just messed up. He has a hydraulic hammer that he smashes stuff out with, a kiln. He calls the hammer Bam Bam. And like
That's fair. It's a good name.
makes
Power
like
hammer,
super
yeah.
rustic things,
Right.
and the guy hasn't probably ever touched a TIG welder ever.
Mhm.
You know, that's just like his style of like he.
What's
makes
interesting
things
is
work.
a lot of those blacksmithers, all they need to do is MIG a piece of like
Yeah.
rebar to their billet, and that's their extent of welding knowledge.
Yeah, that's like their
And it doesn't need to be that good.
extent
No, it
of
doesn't. It's
welding
only there.
knowledge.
It's there
Like,
you're
it
gonna
just doesn't-
chop it
Right.
off anyways.
Right.
It's there to hold it
Mhm.
there so you can work.
It
the
is
rest of the
incredible.
metal.
I like that show, Forged in Fire.
Yeah,
I
it's
watched
good.
that.
It's so good.
95% of them can't weld for dick.
Oh no.
It's incredible.
Well, they don't need
You
to.
would think.
That's
I mean,
the thing, is like you don't need to.
You would just assume that like a blacksmither or something like that, or blacksmith, would just know that. I don't know. Somebody who works with metal, right?
Yeah, it's a different skill set.
It
Have you
is,
seen
I
like
guess.
the hammer forging and stuff like,
Oh,
or
yeah.
hammer
Yeah.
welding?
Oh, yeah.
Like you have to
Exactly.
put the flux in
That's all they
between,
care
like,
about. They're
kinda-
not trying to use electricity.
It's a different
They're
type of
smashing it
welding.
together.
If it sticks
But, yeah,
together, they're
yeah,
like,
it's a
this
form
is good.
of welding.
Right.
I couldn't do
If
that.
they can smash
Right.
it with
I
a
can talk
3-ton
shit on your
hammer,
welds all
like,
day,
yeah,
but
of
I
course.
can't hammer stuff together and make it stick.
Right.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
There's
Different
different
purposes, different.
How do we end up here?
I
don't
don't know.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So
We
yeah,
should
so
probably
Slow car
call
should
it.
be fast, is
Yeah.
what we're saying.
Right.
Yeah, slow car should be fast.
Ultimately,
If you wanna-
stupid question. Try again. No, I'm just
Right.
kidding. That
No,
wasn't a
not at
stupid
all.
question.
If
It
you
was a
want to
good
make your car
conversation.
Yeah.
fast, then make your car fast.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's about the drive.
Right.
Yeah. Just be willing
If
to
it's-
just consider the sacrifice you're making, because there is one
Yes.
somewhere.
Oh,
Time,
for sure.
money.
Unless it's just like the tune, in which case you're probably only sacrificing like
Like a
turbo
few
longevity
$100
or
But
like
also
some
make it-
kind of reliability. But
but also make it slow down just
Yeah.
as fast.
Yeah, keep in mind the safety aspect of things for
yeah,
sure.
1,000, 1,200 horse on stock tires, stock brakes, all that stuff is not going to end well. So
Nope.
spread your money out.
So yeah, in conclusion, do whatever you want to your car.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Whatever you want to do to make it different
Yeah.
is,
Right.
is the way to go.
Whether you want to be
If you're gonna
fast
ask-
around a track or if you want to be fast in a straight line.
If you're going to ask this group whether or not you should make something fast, I mean,
Yeah, we
the
will.
answer is will always be yes.
We are the guys
Yes.
to scumbag you into that purchase.
100%. We'll
Yeah.
send you links if you need it, turbos, whatever.
Yep.
Shane bought a turbo.
You
Oh,
bought a
boy.
turbo?
Well, I bought Shane a turbo technically, but
Oh, I'm so happy.
$190 on eBay.
I know Max Peating Rod's turbo
Heck yeah.
purchased.
I'm so excited. Yeah, because we like scumbagged him into the
$190?
manifold a little while
Yup,
ago.
yup.
And now he's got
Oh
the
my.
turbo too.
I had it up on my thing, and I was hovering over the button, and Shane's like, just do it. So I'm like, okay. I instantly clicked, purchased.
I have an intercooler. I should try to sell
Yeah.
him cheap too.
Yeah. So we're those guys.
He's
Yeah.
most of the way there.
Yeah.
He's bought 2
Not
parts.
really.
Well, I think that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram, iHeartRadio, iTunes.
Keep sending us topic ideas.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, CAD to Cars on Instagram is the best way to reach us.
We got another listener suggestion.
Yeah.
We're gonna hit.
Next
Next
time
week.
we're going to talk about GDI versus port injection stuff.
Yeah.
So
some
tune
of the
in.
intricacies there. Yeah.
I used to work at
How it
Delphi
works.
for a while,
Yeah.
doing specifically injector stuff. So I have some kind of
Just got some
interesting
stuff to
insight.
say.
All right.
Yeah, I did a co-op there for like 3 months.
Nice.
You're gonna tell the world why aftermarket GDI injectors don't exist.
Well, no, but I mean, this was also like 7 years ago,
Yeah,
so
Right.
No, a lot has happened.
it's okay.
All right.
So that's what we'll talk about next week. And yeah, like,
Cool.
subscribe, comment, whatever.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Way to go.
Bye.
Okay, bye.